Welcome to the Hormone Hub, your go-to source for the conversations every woman in her 40s and 50s needs to have. I'm your host, Kylie Pinwill, your nutritionist helping you navigate your way through perimenopause, menopause and beyond so you can say goodbye to the endless fatigue, unexplained weight gain, hot flushes, PMS, mood changes and more that come on this hormonal roller coaster. If you missed the memo or think this is only for women of a certain age, ladies, it's time to think again. Now sit back, relax and enjoy the show. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my latest episodes, which are released every week. Share it with your friends, your sweaty sisters. The more we talk, the more we help each other. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hormone Hub. In today's episode, we're going to have a look at what's going on when our healthy eating isn't working as well as we would think. So we all know what healthy eating looks like. You know, we're not silly. We know that we should be eating more vegetables. We know we should be eating, protein. We know we should be eating healthy fats, and we know we should probably drink more water. But when we are trying to do all the right things and nothing's working, today I sort of want to jump in and have a look at, what's going on, what's missing when we think that we're eating healthy, or, what can be some of the traps that we're sliding into that are, blocking us from, shifting some weight or, slowing us down or making us feel bloated. So today I'm going to have a look at what's going on and, what we can do instead. Now, it's not always about your eating habits, okay? So all of our journey towards a healthy lifestyle is unique for all of us. So, I really want to say, it's not that we need to sort of adopt one lifestyle over another. It doesn't need to be vegetarian. It doesn't need to be keto. It doesn't need to be paleo. It doesn't need to be, we don't need to put a judgment on it, and we don't need to put a lifestyle on it. Instead, what I want you to do is focus on your own health and well-being, okay? And get information from trusted sources. So stop kind of Googling, stop, this worked for my friend's mum, sisters, aunties, cousins, neighbour, because that's not helpful, okay? So try and kind of pick a source of information that resonates with you and just stick with that and block out all the other noise, okay? So I just wanted to sort of throw that in there because there is so much information out there. It is very confusing, very conflicting. And, I think we need to get back to basics. All right. Just wanted to put my 2 cents worth in there. All right. So if ever you've caught yourself saying, I eat really healthy, but or, why isn't this working? I eat really well. I'm trying really hard and nothing's changing. So the thing is that many of us sort of believe that we have a healthy diet. And, in reality, we probably do. But it's just that we might be missing key nutrients or, there might be a few too many little extras that are creeping in. So today I'm going to have a look at some of the common ones and what we can do to overcome that. Okay, so first up, because there is so much information out there, there are a lot of misconceptions about what actually constitute a healthy diet. So, low fat, I think we can all agree that low fat foods are not healthy. And, in the reality is when they take out the fat out of a food, they've got to add in sugars and generally, thickeners and things like that. So they've got a product that tastes okay. And when we rely on labeling and marketing to determine what's healthy, this is where sort of a lot of us, it can go a bit sideways. So when a product's got organic on it or natural on it, okay, so it may still contain things that aren't good. So when they take out something, remember that they've got to add something in for the product to be half decent and taste half decent. So all of your gluten-free products, all of your sugar-free products, all of your vegan products, all of your paleo products, your keto products, all of these things are quite processed foods. So gluten-free products, for instance, when they take the gluten out of something, they've got to so gluten is the glue that holds it together. So when you take the gluten out, they add in thickeners and emulsifiers and a whole bunch of chemicals so that product doesn't hold together. So, necessary if you do 100% need to avoid gluten, but, if you don't, then have a look at the difference of the ingredients between the original product and the gluten-free product. So just because it's gluten-free doesn't mean it's better for you. Unless, of course, you're celiac, then yes. Sugar-free products, they're only, the labelling requirements in Australia is sugar-free means, like table sugar. So if a product is sugar-free, they can still put in maltose, sucrose, syrups, so those other kind of sweeteners. So have a look. So any kind of ingredient that ends in OSE, that's a form of sugar. It just means that they don't have table sugar in there. If you are looking at, keto products or paleo products, again, it's a marketing sort of concept that lead us to believe if we're following a keto lifestyle or a paleo lifestyle, then, hey, this cookie is okay because it's keto or it's paleo. At the end of the day, it's still a cookie. All right. So kind of step back and kind of go, oh, it's a cookie. Just because it's got a label on it that it's healthier, all right, that leads us to believe it might be healthier, it's probably not really. So again, read the ingredients. And the same as all these vegan products that are on the marketplace now. So, vegan cheese and vegan meat and vegan sausages and, all of the things. A lot of this, and again, read the ingredients. A lot of if it's not meat, ask yourself, what is it? So if it's processed soy, it's not a healthier alternative to a vegan meat. To meat. So if you are looking at, going down the pathway of vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, sort of eating, go instead for actual plant-based foods. So your beans, your legumes, organic tofu or organic tempeh, there are much better options than, these fake meats and fake cheeses and things like that. So again, read the ingredients. Look out for processed soy, look out for thickeners, emulsifiers, flavors, numbers, all of those things, because our body isn't designed to eat them and they're not doing us any favors. And the next thing is, people sort of might also not be aware, or we might not be aware of how much we're eating. So definitely our portion sizes have increased over the years. And even though we don't think we're consuming a lot of food and consuming a lot of, calories and unhealthy ingredients, we're possibly having more than we think we should. So, a smoothie, for instance, if we buy a smoothie when we're out, it's a giant, up to half a litre or more of smoothie, whereas in actual fact, we only need about 200 mils. That should give us what we need. But, they just come in these giant portion sizes. So it's good to sort of like be aware of that. Likewise, if we, decide to be healthy and we'll have a salad, so salads are awesome. They're a great source of nutrients. They're fiber, vitamins, minerals. They fill us up. But they can also be loaded with unhealthy ingredients. So when we sort of start to see in our salad crunchy noodles and cheese and croutons and, what's actually in the dressing that tastes so delicious. So, just good to be aware of that. Likewise, fresh juices. Again, we think it's a healthy drink option. And again, a small juice might be totally fine, particularly if it's vegetable based. But while we've got, lots of, more than 2 fruits in a juice, it's more than 2 pieces of fruit go in to make a juice. Okay. So we want to get a vegetable based juice more so than a fruit based juice, because, that just adds sort of extra sugar in right there. And, often in a juice, it's more pieces of fruit than we would physically be able to eat. And then, I've sort of spoken about the vegetarian and, going vegan, and we automatically sort of tend to think that that's a healthier option. But it is possible, like I said earlier, to eat a lot of unhealthy processed vegetarian foods or plant-based foods. And when we're following a plant-based diet, it is possible to do it well, but we need to work a lot harder because it is easier to become nutrient deficient. So we, often missing, protein, iron, zinc, B12, omega-3. So if you are following a plant-based diet, sort of focus on, okay, where are those nutrients going to come from so we don't become nutrient deficient? So when we are, nutrient deficient, and I see it all the time in women who've been following a plant-based diet, that they, it impacts their energy levels. It's got a knock-on effect to their thyroid, to their hormones and more. So we want to sort of make sure that we're doing plant-based eating well, so we are covering, those protein, iron, zinc, B12, omega-3, buckets. We need to be ticking all of those. So yeah, lots of healthy benefits to plant-based, but you've got to, make sure you're working a bit harder. This Hormone Hub episode is sponsored by The Well-Balanced Woman. If you've been on a hormonal roller coaster, feeling bloated, your digestion isn't the best, and you're sick and tired of feeling lethargic with your weight creeping up, then this is the right program for you. I'm right there with you across the 12 weeks to hold your hand, and I'll give you a loving kick up the bum if you need it. The Well-Balanced Woman is your personalised 4-phase program created to help you regain your energy, balance your hormones and fire up your metabolism so you get the results you're after. The link with all the details is on our show notes or over at kyliepinwell.com/well-balanced-woman. Another, thing that I sort of wanted to mention today was what is healthy for one person may not be for another. So some people don't tolerate sugar well. Some people don't tolerate grains or legumes well. So we need to find out exactly what's not working for you before we jump in and start eliminating entire food groups. So FODMAPs is a big one, and a lot of IBS people, so, if you swing from constipation to diarrhea, and probably 50% of my clients would have some form of IBS when they come into the Well-Balanced Woman program. And, some of them have been told to use a FODMAP diet. And again, it's, we think it's a healthier option, but what happens is you get a big list of foods that you can't eat, okay? And very rarely are, people who've been given a big FODMAPs list of things not to eat, very rarely you're told sort of what you can eat. So it makes it really hard to sort of stick to. So instead, I use, with all of my clients, I use a food sensitivity test. So this is, we're identifying exactly what isn't working for you. So then we can focus on what you can have, okay? And that is also always what's missing with FODMAPs. So, you can sort of see how these sort of like healthier options like plant-based or FODMAPs or, low carb or low sugar or, whatever it is, may not be the healthiest option. So first up, what we want to do is have a look at, what is a healthy diet. So educate yourself about what constitutes that. So are we getting enough protein? Are we getting enough healthy fats? Are we getting carbohydrates? And are we getting fiber? Okay. So we want to be eating as much real food as possible. So real food, the ingredient is the real food. So broccoli is broccoli, chicken is chicken, meat is meat, potatoes are potatoes. Like we know what we're eating. And, if you are eating sort of processed foods or packet foods, get in the habit of ignoring what the marketing label says and actually reading the ingredients list. Forget the nutrition panel because, that doesn't mean anything. But what foods are in the packet food that you're eating? If it sounds like real food, it is. If the ingredient list sounds like a science experiment, it is a science experiment, okay? So get to know what it is you're actually eating. Be mindful of portion sizes and try and eat mindfully. So enjoy what you're eating. Smell your food. chew it well, swallow it, eat it slowly, eat it sitting down with a knife and fork, okay? Pay attention to, hunger and fullness. Are you hungry coming up to a meal, or are you just eating because it's 1 o'clock? Are you, do you feel full, or are you just filling up, you've got to finish what's on your plate, okay? And then think about how certain foods make you feel. Do you feel light and energized after eating? Or do you feel heavy and bloated? So I want you to sort of really start to think about, am I enjoying this, and is it making me feel good? Now, certainly, I hope you found this helpful, and, why we might be missing the mark when it comes to, our healthy eating. So if you are looking for sort of more personalized nutrition advice, we can certainly help set you up with more achievable goals, for a healthier diet, healthier lifestyle. So, if you want to find out more about what we do and how we work, you are most welcome to book in for a hormone health call. We can chat about what's going on for you. We can chat about where you're feeling stuck, and we can certainly, talk about the best way that we might be able to help you. So I hope you found this helpful. And if you have any questions, or there's any topics that you'd like me to cover in the future, leave me a comment, reach out to me via PM, or, in the Facebook group, because this is your podcast. So I am happy to cover the topics that you're after. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Thank you for taking the time to listen today. You can head on over to the show notes at kyliepinwell.com/podcast, where you'll find all the links, and I have a little bonus surprise waiting for you. Before we go, it would mean the world to me if you head on over to your favourite podcast channel, subscribe and leave a review. Make sure to screenshot it, DM it to me so I can thank you personally. Then stay tuned for next week's episode. Can't wait to see you then.